Assalamualaikum and hi to everyone. Thank you for watching this video. So in this video, we will discuss about the sub procedure and function procedures in the Visual Basic Programming. You can subscribe, like and share. So basically, under this video, we will discuss about the event handling procedure, the independent sub procedure, how you passing the information using the procedure, and how to rounding the numbers using mathematical method, and function procedures in the Visual Basic Programming. So first, we go for the event handling sub procedures. So event handling sub procedure is a procedure, but we need an event to occur first before the procedure can be called or the procedure can be processed. So example here, we have the event call button click. So we have button when event occur, which is click on that button, then it will process the procedures. So these are the syntax for the event handling sub procedure. Okay, we have a sub button. So sub keyword here is refer to the sub procedure. And then we have the event procedures name, which is button calculate underscore click. And then we have the object refer to the buttons and event agreements, and then followed by the handles clause. Okay. Under this part, we can have the line continuation character using the underscore, and we also can add another event clause. For example, here we have handle text principal dot text change, and then we can add by adding comma and followed by another event. So based on this example, we have comma and then list rate dot selected index change. So when the selected index change, it will do something, and then followed here by the statement and ended by the end sub procedure. So these are the syntax on how you can write the sub procedure or event handling sub procedure using the Visual Basic Programming. Okay, the next part, we have the independent sub procedures. So basically, we call as the independent procedure. The difference between this independent sub procedure and the event handling sub procedure is event handling need an event occur first before we can call the procedures. For this procedure, as long as you call the name of this procedure, it will process the code inside the procedures. So independent sub procedures does not connect to any object or any event. It works independently as long as you call the procedure's name. So the reason why we need the independent procedures are, first, we want to avoid the duplicate code in our programming. Second, we want to modify it only in one place, so we only modify that independent procedures rather than we modify several sections in our code. The third part, we want to make the procedure easier for us to understand and easier to find any errors and easy to code, easy to read. And then the fourth one, we want to allow the team of programmers to code the application. So everyone have their own idea in order to create and come out with another procedure. So easy for them, easy for us if we work as a team in order to program some application. So this is the independent syntax. Okay, the first part is syntax of the sub procedure, independent sub procedure. We have private sub and procedure name, and followed by the parameters, and then followed by the statement and ended with the end sub. How to call this procedure? We use the calling statement. This is the calling statement for the independent procedure. So we just write the procedure name followed by the argument, the parameters that we have declared in the procedures, independent procedure. So this is the basically on how we write the code using the independent sub procedure. Okay, the next part is the example. Okay, example of the independent sub procedure. We have example 1, sub procedure, independent sub procedure without any argument. So we can write private sub fill list box, there is no argument. And then list numbers dot item clear, this one to clear the list numbers. And then we have loop here in order to add the number inside the list of our object. So this is example of independent sub procedure without any argument. How to call this procedure? We just write down the procedure name followed by a bracket. So this is how we write the procedure without argument, and this is how we call that procedures. Okay, the second example is the example of independent sub procedure with the argument passed by the value. Okay, so we write private sub, name of the procedure, by value, by val. This one pass using the value, and then proceed with the process. How to call? You can call the procedure name list salary based on your integer argument. You can use the parameters name, variable name, or you can put the value of your parameters. The next example, we have the procedure, independent sub procedure with argument, some argument using the by value, and some argument using the reference, and then followed by the statement here. So how we call it? We can call the name of this sub procedure, and then followed by the variable name or argument name, income, and in net. This one is depends on what are the variable that we use the argument. Okay, this one is another example of independent. Let's say you create an sub procedure, independent sub procedure using display grade 0 without any argument. So you write the statement here, and then another independent sub procedure, display grade 201. Okay, and then this is how we can call the procedure that we already write in our codes. So we only call it when the button display is clicked. So basically, when we have the independent procedure, we can call this procedure using the event handling procedure. Okay, the next part is passing the information to a procedure. We have a procedure, and then we want to passing the value of information that we have. Okay, these are the syntax. Display with 1 by val. Okay, this one indicate that argument is passed by the value. So display here by val again. This one how we call the procedure. Okay, we need to put the integer salary as the argument, and this how we want to call the procedure's name. So this procedure is based on these code numbers. So if we want to pass the value by value, we use the keyword by val. Okay, the next part is passing the reference in our procedure. So you pass a variable by reference when you want to receive the procedure to change the content of the variable. So basically, when we pass the information by reference, we pass the memory address of that variable. So here is the example. Private sub calculate discount. This one is the procedure's name, and this one is the parameters that you pass or receive. Okay, this one by value, so indicate that parameter is receiving a copy of a value integer number. And then this one by ref, indicate that this parameter is receiving the variable address, the memory address. So this is the syntax on how we call those these parameters. So calculate discount, integer ticket. This one argument passed by the value based on this one, and this parameter or argument is passed by the reference. So the difference between by value and by reference is based on this keyword. Okay, the next part is rounding the numbers. We can rounding the number in the Visual Basic Programming using the mat.round method. So the syntax here is mat.round followed by the bracket, the values, and the digit that you want to round up your numbers. Okay, for example, we have mat.round 3.235, comma 2. So we want to round into 2 decimal value here. So it's become 3.24. Okay, the next one we have mat.round 6.517, comma by 1. So we want to round this number into 1 decimal point. It's become 6.5. And the third example, mat.round 8.99 without the digit here. So that means we want to make it as an integer. So it's become 9. So basically this is the method that we can use in order to rounding the number in the Visual Basic Programming. Okay, the last part we will discuss about the function procedures. Okay, function procedures return a value while sub procedure does not return a value. That are the difference between the function and the sub procedure. Sub procedure only process without any return value. Function it process and it return the value. Okay, so this is the example of function procedures. Okay, we use the keyword function instead of sub. We use the keyword of function. So function get discount by val, by the values, and then followed by the parameters. This one is the data type, and then we have another parameters and another data type, so as double. So the discount will be pass the value in double format, the double data type. So there's a statement here. Okay, select case using the select case structures, and then it has the return value at this point. So this is how we write down the function procedures. How to call function? Just call using the name of function. For example, this one we call using the get discount, and followed by this one, and it has return value. So that means it returns the value of double this equal to something. Okay, so that's all for this video. Basically, we already discussed about the event handling, independent sub procedure, event handling sub procedure, independent sub procedure, and then how to pass the information using the by value, by reference, and then how we want to rounding the numbers inside the visual programming, as well as the functions method or the function procedure inside the visual programming. So the difference between sub procedure and function is the keyword function and the keyword sub. So that's all for this video. Thank you for watching, and Assalamualaikum.